Good Saturday morning, guys. So, I like to do things that aren't done every single day because I want to keep the game fresh and exciting for you guys, especially when it gets stale towards the end of the season. I'm tired of facing the same five matchups, and you see this one here is probably one of the more common ones you're going to see, Precision Strike up first. So we brought an Ursine Ritual, Self-Wound, Berserk type deck, and this isn't the first version that I tried. I tried some that had more cards with the Berserk tag in them, recorded some games, wasn't getting the wins that I wanted, so I had to really narrow down on a few to make it work and have some supporting cards like the Burn a Coral package for a deck thin and stuff like that, but it does work quite well. I find Fukushia is a pretty much like an auto-include in most Skellige decks right now too, so that ate a lot of our provisions and whatnot, but this thing actually does really well, and this is a great example because we have like self-wound payoffs, but at the same time they're sort of helping us if you look at it in the first round. So we have like the Saber Tiger just kind of causing them to heal, and I'm just thinking, why don't we just separate the rows at this point? Why play around it when we could play right into it? It's the biggest flex of 2021 here. We got just Berserk 3, heal self, and then we can make copies of that. And I put Iterin in the deck to kind of really combo with these. I'm sure it's not the first time you guys saw that play, but I find it's not as common as you'd think. Ideally we'd have Iterin in hand, it would spawn an extra copy of these off the Megascope, and then it would just heal it right away because the Berserk. So we'd be getting a crazy Iterin. It would be worth like 8 points off the Iterin right away. And you see just another heal here. It's nuts. And at some point, after we roll out some points, I'm looking at heat waving that Saber. I don't see why not, because eventually we're not going to be able to play around it. I mean, if we do stack the front row with one more, then it does play around it quite well. Stacking's fine, heat waving's fine. I don't know if we're really going to get a better heat wave. Like, the only better one we're probably going to get is Gord. But if we can win on even here, then we pretty much get that out of it early, so huge amount of points on them here. And what's nice, the bleeding on the back one's just going to heal itself when it gets to 3. So if we had Adaran out here, or Iterin, it would be an extra 16 points. We're still doing really well here. There was consideration to look at a pass there. They'd have to play a card, arguably spend a leader, and still be down a card into round 3, but I felt like it was fine. Just, you see what I mean? Self-wounding, heal factor. This pretty much pushes them out of the round. I mean, what can you do at this point? If that's a crushing trap, it's not bad for them. And Fukushia in this case, it could take back multiple things. So when Vildkarl flips, it could take back the Vildkarl and just act as a big 12-point slam, and then put Rain on the other side for a couple turns. We could take back the Melusine, we could take back the Coral, we could take back a Bronze if we want to get more Rain. Really depends on what we're looking for. More than often, it's going to be the Vildkarl or the Melusine that we just bring back. It's a good point slam to finish the game. And I have no problem taking a Burner here. we're getting out some of these good cards, you know, and in this case we probably have to tuck away Giga Scorpion. You hate to see it, but in this matchup specifically, I don't really know how much value it's going to get. Maybe the best thing we go and do is we take away like a Pyrotech or something, but just another Serpent Trap. We've got space, guys. This way, if they hit anything, if they have random generated damage, doesn't really help with them. So you get that nice little loss on even here. Full leader intact. Fukushia in hand. It's pretty good. And the nice part here is if we do win round 1 off those inexpensive bronzes, we go ahead, we crank the Cirrus, we get the points here. I tried to do the whole Cirrus play on the ranged row with the other version of the deck that I had. It just wasn't as good because I felt like the deck kind of overswarmed. There wasn't enough room for us, especially in the Nilfgaard matchup. We were getting too clogged up. We had situations where we had like 3 cards in hand we couldn't play. So it was kind of annoying.
I suppose, and the end.
Still in a pretty good spot here. I was thinking about taking leader here and healing off the Kadoosh, but it's not like we can't do that next turn. And that's just not enough points for them to come back from, I don't think. Take whatever, really. I'm taking Herald because I was expecting maybe a crushing or something like that, but that's a lot of points. We'll just pop this up here. If the last card is Elbane, it's not enough points, right? Split up our pings here. Yeah, that'll be fine. Get that heal real quick. And 21 points. Best case scenario, they're sitting at, yeah, 12 points. Not enough. Big win against a very common deck you're seeing right now. Next matchup is a true test here. We got Skellige, Reckless Flurry, and that's pretty much the meta list. There's different variants of it. So this one's going to be very tricky because we have a lot of deck thin, but so do they, so it doesn't really help us get out of round 1. The fact that we're on blue is a little bit tricky too because they're going to really apply the pressure you to think so. And we don't have any of our discard stuff, so that kind of sucks. The Cirrus will be nice here. The only thing I don't like about the Cirrus play with this deck is the stratagem. Because if we get our discard play plus our Cirrus in the same round, that front row gets awfully scary. So we see the sunset. It's pretty much, like I said, the meta list in this case. And that's like one of the most satisfying parts about Gwent is basically playing something so off meta that you don't really see anybody playing it and then beating meta decks. It's the most satisfying thing, man. I'm trying to basically find a way to make most of the leader abilities playable. Every faction's got those 1 or 2 that just feels like no one's playing right now. Or if they're playing it, they're just playing it one way. Like this leader ability right here, 9 times out of 10 it's going to be lippy when you see it. And Melusine getting to work is really good. I don't see a heat wave or anything, so we're pretty comfortable here. I kind of just want to play into the round as long as possible, and that's going to go ahead and heal itself on the end of the turn. The Priest, let's start getting some value on that here. Just looking to see what I can get here. Probably tuck away to Megascope because we don't need that just yet. Actually, save it, save it, save it. No, I didn't save it. I'm looking back, like, because you could save Megascope basically if you want to pull off the Adar and play later, but in this actual matchup, I don't think it would work anyways, because Adaran just gets killed off leader charges. Or Giga, or Trials, or there's so many ways you can kill it. So we took round 1 pretty well. We had some pretty good carryover. I don't really know if we want to bleed this matchup. I kind of want to basically consider the fact that they haven't really taken any sort of deck thin, so maybe they won't pull any good cards. If we bleed them as well with Sunset, it gets very tricky. Just looking though, I see that they haven't really played anything, which kind of concerns me, so I'm thinking maybe a leader charge or 2 would kind of give us an advantage. Let's see if we can provoke something here. Maybe play down to 7. And there's a good shot off Berna to get those discard cards, so I figured why not try. Luckily we got both of them. 19 points on the board, it seems like a lot, but it's really not a lot in this case. They can just put down the Berna and then just click. Yeah, you see? And counting 6 points that they're just storing right now, it's not even worth playing into. We could just move on to round 3. See, the deck thins out pretty well, and that was one of the problems I had when I didn't use Cirrus on melee and I used it on ranged instead, is that we're getting some bricks as well. And before I put Melusine in there, I had Draco Turtle with the Mardromes, and I just felt like it wasn't as good, because if you don't pull cards to damage the Draco, then it doesn't work. So with Melusine, it's a lot more proactive. It's not very hard to get bodies out there. And Melusine just felt like a better carryover with Fukushia anyways. And I also considered Sigdriff as right, but I felt like it was a little bit slow because we already have Megascopes, and just summoning a card wasn't really crazy. And I also tried Defender, but I felt like, again, wasn't a whole lot I wanted to protect. I mean, Melusine, sure, great, but if it gets heat waved, it gets heat waved, really. I wanted to try Dire Bear instead of the Defender, because we don't have a lot of engine control. We only have 1 Tall Punish and we have a Giga. So if you put Dire Bear down, it works quite well. I think it's a pretty underrated card. It's hard enough to remove. We're not really boosting a whole lot ourselves, but if we decide to, we can just give it 1 damage, get the Berserk thing off it. It's not bad at all. So this does not stay. This is just greeting it for sure.
That might even be amusing.
But I think they did trade down a little bit, because little do they know I didn't really have a lot going on for that Iterans, so you know, the 2 leader charges plus the Coral's kind of nice. We know Berna's already gone from last round, so we don't have to worry too much more about that. I put down Herald here because if they use a leader charge, then it's going to be very difficult for them to obviously avoid those 3 on the board.
Beautiful pair of legs, please.
And unfortunately, Dire Bear is not very good in this matchup, but I did include a game, I think it's the next game coming up, where Dire Bear was absolutely nuts. So if you're still watching the video, stick around for the next one. I'm pretty sure it's that one. Dire Bear came in super clutch. 37-3. I know what you guys are thinking. But our hand is so good, right? There's only one card that's like questionable in our hand right here. But other than that, we're doing really good. We still have Megascope like off the location too. We can do a Bear Witcher. It really depends. Down by 27, taking a peek. What do we see? Might as well produce here. Damage the Quarrel, not the half-rule. And really, we have to just really hope that that stays. I don't know if they have anything left to remove it, or they'd want to use something right now to remove it. Nice. That is, yeah, hold on by 1 point. We'll play around the rain a little bit, put this on melee, and to be quite honest, there's nothing else I'd rather heal here, so might as well just click it and then see if they try and target that and maybe waste some value or something. That was pretty good, because they go ahead and they kill that, but it would have really just counted down regardless. Down 46-3. Take this in for a minute. Dire Bear's not going to do anything but sit there for 8 points in this matchup, I would assume. The big heat wave. Again, it makes that last leader charge pretty damn awkward for them. So I'm counting leader charges, and I'm basically looking at, okay, we have 4 charges, but Vildkarl requires 3, but I kind of want to use something to, you know, be able to proc a couple. Like, I know I have Melusine coming down, so realistically we can get, you know, a couple off that, but I just don't have all 3. There it goes, big flip. That was really risking it all, guys. But I figure if we're down by so many points, you have to take the play there. There's Melusine. Pop it right here. We still have to get rid of a couple tokens to get our leader out. Hit the shield. What a bad bounce. And just kind of taking the time to do some math. Boom. Puts us up by 2 points. We win the game. You wouldn't have expected it. It made them not use their leader charge because they didn't want to deal with that, you know? So it really helped us out there. Third game's Kelly. Was this the one, or did I save it for the last one? I don't know. Either way, the next 2 games are bangers. Like, this is going to be nuts. Everyone's playing Kelly right now. This feels like the Kelly killer. The ultimate Kelly counter, we'll say. Because, like, we're spawning so much crap. Especially those 1 tokens. Think about it. We basically could, like, pull a whole renew on the Herald, you know? Have, like, Herald go down, the tokens go down, they kill them all, they kill Herald, we bring him back with Fukushia, we play him again. It's sort of like, you know. And if they don't Heatwave Melusine, they actually bring it back for us. They bring back our 8s, you know. There's a lot of really good traits here. Kind of just sticking to the script here. You put the Megascope down before you put the Adaran down, because if you put the Adaran down before the Megascope, the Adaran gets killed. Pro tip. See that? Boom. Now at the end of the turn, look at this. Beautiful. Wait. There you go. Yeah. Heals itself by 7. Again, I probably wasn't the first person to think of that, but it still is very good. Such a big trade up. And I'm thinking, well, that's an easy discard. I'm thinking about getting Melusine down there. There's consideration too to actually put the Melusine on the ranged row. Looking back at that now, could have put Melusine on the range between the two, because then they would have eventually healed. You do kind of risk it a little bit though, because once you get them, you know, below 5, they're really easy removals, and then you just don't get them back, and Melusine sits there on an empty row. So it's one of those things you kind of have to use your discretion. I know Kelly's notorious for having like Dimeridian Bombs, Alzur's Thunders, Natural Selections, cards like that, Parasite, so and I don't think that we're gonna be able to do anything about the Siri Nova. I also don't want to get caught here in a situation where they hit me with one Tall Punish and we're out of the round, so, you know, there's consideration to pass regardless. And they wouldn't have had time to tick down to heal anyways in the back row. This puts them in a spot where they have to play 2 cards to get ahead. It's pretty nuts, isn't it? We got a leader charge, we got combos coming down, a lot of the cards they're playing. The whole Siri Nova thing didn't do what it's supposed to do because, you know, they're down 2 cards. Makes it very tricky for them to go ahead and bleed. I wouldn't expect in this case that they would try. And if you're wondering the MMR for this game, it's somewhere in the range of 24, 40 or something like that. Wasn't a serious grind season. You would expect that that's going to be the Melusine, yeah. That's too bad. It was worth 17 points. Would have been really nice to take back in round 3. But they're bleeding. They're actually pushing it here. First Kelly hasn't been played either. And even though we have the one-off there, we could still hit it with a couple of our cultists in hand. Our hand's not actually very good in this case. If they do push, it's like we're relying just on card advantage here to take us out of the round. We don't have really a lot of good combos going on here. Hodwell comes out. And I've seen this one 110 times. So they're going to try and take that back, and it's going to basically negate the card deficit they have when they take the doo-doo and they make a copy of it. So watch. Big brain. Big heat wave. Get rid of that problem. Because with Melusine out of the question, we're not really going to be going tall enough to be able to keep it on our side anyways. And Nithral sitting there vulnerable is not a good look. I think they should have boosted that one. Just thinking that they're probably trying to develop a bit of a graveyard for Witch's Stabbeth, that's all. Super slow plays. Let's get this thing going. Because on a pass, it'll flip back, it'll heal. If they continue to play it, yeah, it's just too many points. So we preserve a 2-card advantage. We gotta go into round 3 now and find something with a bit more synergy in our hand here. We have the discard cards without any discard cards, if that makes sense. Kadoosh comes out, Cirrus comes out. We gotta be careful with the mulligans, but we do want to have Fukushia. That's like... There you go. Manifested and Burna, there you go. Now I know we're playing into Kelly. But who says they're gonna play Kelly first? They probably want to put up the defender first. Oh. I guess they want to maximize the value off the Kelly. That's annoying. But it's no big deal, because now we can just sort of play around that a little bit, right? Herald goes down. If I was to take Herald again, you could put Herald on melee so the tokens go on range row, but they're going to be killing anyways, so it doesn't really matter. The Burna could still pull off the discards. We're not really too worried about space at this point. And normally you might use the Svalbard Priest and the other cultists to basically damage those tokens. In this case we don't want to do that because we want to make sure Kelly's damaging those tokens. So Dire Bear goes down, and now they have to deal with that crap because, you know, they're not going to be able to get any points here. Their whole thing is row stacking that melee row and then boosting it, so Beast is shut down. Bringing back my 3/8 is awesome. And if we can snipe that Beast one more time, that'd be awesome too. They brought back 24 points for us on the board. That's actually more than they brought back for themselves. I got carried away trying to snipe the 2, but it's fine. We still have tokens out here to basically play around the Kelly anyways. And they just can't remove it with one turn. You see, the boost that they have doesn't even work. It's great. We're getting so much value from Dire Bear here, it's nuts. And, you know, I'm just hitting that down casually so we can heal it back up. You take a leader charge here too. Doesn't really matter, it'll happen the turn after. The only thing you want to play around is like a 4P removal, but there you go, Dire Bear's out of the way. But by the time they removed it, it honestly got its provisions back in, you know, what we prevented from them. I think we got like 3 turns off the Beast, plus the organic they played onto the Injuriga, so it's pretty nuts. And then a couple Nithrals and stuff to actually kill it. There you go. So we'll get a little bit of rain out here, make it count. Dire Bear goes back down. Let's try this one again. Look at that. A couple days ago we played Arnagod, and it was something similar, right? You know, they play something and it gets killed. But this is just pretty satisfying. If you're playing against a lot of boost decks, you definitely gotta try this one out, guys, because Dire Bear is just funny. Doo-doo. I don't know if they just threw in the towel there, but they could have copied an 8. 2 cards, leader in check, doesn't even matter. They can't use their leader. Easy clap. Moving on to the last one of the day, we got... I don't want to spoil it. This is the game I'm talking about, man, where Dire Bear was just crazy, crazy, crazy. This was the most absurd thing ever. It was totally Berserk, man. Haven't decided when I'm going to upload this one or release it. I'm tempted just to throw it up today, but we already put a video up today. We'll see. We'll see. I did say good Saturday morning at the beginning of the video, so maybe I'm obligated to post it today, so it's relevant. Guess what it is? Okay, it's Hyper Thin Colgrim. 9 out of 10 Hyper Thin Colgrim. So I actually played Colgrim for the first time a few days back. Posted a deck on that. If you guys are interested in seeing that one, check out my video. It's called First Time Clogger. It's actually pretty fun, not gonna lie. It's one of those decks where it's like all or nothing. It either works or doesn't work. Like you could play the whole match 10-15 minutes for them to have an answer to that one card and you lose. That's the only discouraging part. No rush to remove that, really. It's not like it's an engine, it's just Siri. Is that Siri? I forget the name of that card. But you know what I mean. Yeah.
You'll never get my rhymes out of your head.
It's pretty wild because they have the tempo, we have the tempo. Who has more tempo? Burna could pull really nicely too. If we get another skirm. And I also thought about putting Blue Boy in this deck. I just felt like Blue Boy was good on the first time you played it. But like, if I was to bring it back, it's not as good as, let's say, the Wildkarl. But you guys can like maybe use this as like a baseline and experiment with it and try something different. And you know, if you guys come up with a different version of it, let me know. You could post a link in the comments. That's no problem with me. As long as it's to the Play Gwent website.
Your life is worth a great deal, my lord. Take it.
A drop of knowledge can overpower even a seer.
It just dies anyways, so we put that beside it because at least we'll get some value off of it, right? Now they're getting pretty good stuffs here. Now we can just focus on getting rid of that token. And any possibility to use Heatwave here just doesn't seem appropriate because all of our pings are going onto the Snowdrop. And it just doesn't seem like a big deal anymore. I think I actually do take a Wildkarl because there's really nothing else we could play. And we could just use 2 leader charges on that, plus a Herald, that's fine. flip it over to the 12. We're establishing that carryover because we didn't have Melusine in round 1, so that's going to be a pretty concrete play for later on. And what I like about it is that Vilcarl's only 7 provisions, so we spawn Rain for 3 turns, which is 6 damage, and then we get Fukusha, which is 4 base power, right? So we're at 10, plus we're bringing back a 12p. So pretty nuts, man. Pass on that. Honestly, I just don't have anything else we could play, and if we continue to play, we'll just lose on evens, so we gotta pass. You see, that would be more than enough tempo. And Dire Bear in this matchup just seems too valuable. Hint, hint. Gotta ditch the Mega Scope here. It's not really doing a whole lot for us. We need actual units. We need a throw card. I don't think that they would ever pass, though. And what's nice is that any sort of potential Colgrim value isn't as good as it would normally be in other matchups, because we have the ability to thin out quite well. Like you see right now, there's only a 3-card contrast between our decks, but we do have Cirrus in hand, so that's going to help fix it a little bit. And I think that's one of the reasons why Colgrim isn't as big now as it was back when, because a lot of decks have the ability to thin out quite well. Scoia'tael's got options. I find the trickiest decks to thin right now are probably like Northern Realms and Syndicate, if anything. Most other Northern Realms may be worse, maybe harder. It's contingent on like Raffords and Amphibious most of the time. Syndicate's got a couple thin packages, but Syndicate is just one of the weaker factions right now. But you know what I mean, like a lot of decks can thin out quite well. Scoia'tael does it perfectly. So the big boots on that there, like at this point, it looks like they're going all the way. We have to find out what row the defender goes on before we go and oh, I was just getting a phone call. I hope you don't hear that on the audio there. We have to find out which row the defender goes on before we play the Dire Bear, because otherwise, you know, we can't get that big heat wave off if they try to avoid it. And that's too bad. We missed out on that opportunity there. So we have to respect it. I think Fukusha here is only right. See what I mean? Take out the big points. And I can't see them taking it all the way here. I don't think so. They're probably just hoping for a short round 3.
Yes. What is it?
Yeah, it's tied. They're down. It's not enough points, especially with this here. Everything else we need to hold on to, and I'm really hoping they don't play. If they do play, they don't win anyways. So there we go. Pass. Keep card advantage. Moving on to round 3. We got leader still. Adarin's not great, but Guardian's worse. Kadoosh is nice. Looking at that, like, that's probably the prize winning hand here, because Adarin still works with location, still works with leader. And it's not a bad opening card. We can just play that and just kind of see where it goes. Realistically, we have to wait for that defender to come down. Melusine got no carryover in this match. It doesn't really matter too much. We can get a couple points off of here, but we know defender's going on range row, so that's amazing. I was thinking about the Dire Bear here, but it is a little bit early. There's no reason to just yet. We know they're not going to play Colgrim that early, so we'll put down Melusine, because if they play an early Colgrim, we can put Rain and just kill it anyways. Beautiful. So you know where it's going. Dire Bear's going to go down on the range row. And we have to use the later charge anyways. Come on and play it. They're like, oh man, now we have to play it on melee. I'm telling you, man, as soon as they play this thing, it's getting the huge heat wave. Letho will do nothing, and we just win the game. There it is.
Let's get this over with.
Damn you all! Why would I kill a child?
If you guys enjoyed the video, don't forget to subscribe to the channel. Had a ton of fun making this one. And if you guys have any recommendations for future uploads, let me know in the comments or go to the community tab that I have, and I have a section for it there. You guys can write your requests and I'd be happy to have a look at them. The big forfeit. You love to see it. We'll see you soon.